Hey everybody, Nick Espinosa, your chief security fanatic here, and today we have to talk about the metaverse because criminals love the metaverse. Now, here's what's going on. This is coming from Liam Tung of ZDNet. I thought this was really interesting, and I think it's basically a harbinger of what's to come. So, as much as we might enjoy or not enjoy the metaverse in the future, the criminals are going to keep on rolling with what criminals do. Now, here's what's going on, and this is coming from Interpol because they just launched their, quote, global police metaverse, end quote, as part of a new effort to train members on basically how to police in a virtual world. Now, last week, Interpol unveiled what it basically says is the, quote, first ever metaverse specifically designed for law enforcement worldwide. It says that the Interpol metaverse gives officers around the world the tools for cross-border knowledge sharing via avatars and to take immersive training in forensic investigation and other policing activities, obviously in and around virtual reality and probably augmented reality as well. Now, Interpol has also created an expert group on the metaverse to represent law enforcement concerns about virtual new worlds. Now, Interpol has warned, and I quote from their report, criminals are already starting to exploit the metaverse. As the number of metaverse users grows and the technology further develops, the list of possible crimes will only expand to potentially include crimes against children, data theft, money laundering, financial fraud, counterfeiting, ransomware, phishing, and sexual assault and harassment. For law enforcement, some of these threats are likely to present significant challenges because not all acts that are criminalized in the physical world are considered crimes when committed in the virtual world. And that is 100% correct. When they talk about things like sexual assault and harassment, I actually did a video on that, I want to say like a year ago or so, about basically people saying they've been assaulted or harassed, and the metaverse that is being run by Meta, aka Facebook, which is not the only metaverse in town for the record, but they want it to be. They had to create basically the ability to have your avatar bubble with like a 3 feet perimeter so that you could interact, so that if you were being harassed, you wouldn't have to be harassed. So these things are already coming. They've already been there right out of the gate. Now, Gartner predicts that by 2027, 40% of large companies will use a combination of Web3 and AR in projects conducted in the metaverse, which I'm sure will be fun for everybody. Now, the organization Interpol last week released its global crime trend report, which shows that 70% of law enforcement officers from its 195 member countries expect ransomware and phishing attacks to grow in the next 3 to 5 years. That is low-hanging fruit. It has grown time and again. Oftentimes these things go unreported or vastly underreported, so it is very hard to quantify these things, but we know that it grows and gets worse every year as we all are losing money to this. Law enforcement is also concerned about basically the financial crime as a service that we've seen with ransomware and other places, but it possibly is developing into digital money laundering tools, but also business email compromise, CEO impersonation fraud, e-commerce scams, investment fraud, and more. And so as we move to the metaverse, we have those things that they talk about, but not to mention spoofing as well. I mean, you think catfishing is bad when some guy can pretend to be a Russian cosmonaut and get $30,000 US out of a Japanese woman who says, yes, if you pay the docking fees, I can land the spaceship and come and marry you off the space station. It's going to be a heck of a lot worse in the metaverse. I can make my avatar look like, I don't know, Mark Zuckerberg, and then pretend to, I don't know, fish somebody being Mark Zuckerberg. Maybe I get an interview. Maybe I can scam somebody. These are the kinds of things that we are talking about. So I think this is going to be a very interesting, basically cat and mouse kind of game as we have scams can perpetually go on, and we develop technologies, methods, standards, policies to thwart these things. The metaverse is going to open this up as well, and we're going to need those same things there. So how we, let's say, handle a phishing attack here, in the regular world via email or a website is going to be different when we are interacting with people that may not be who they say they are directly face to face, not just in instant message or email or any other kind of messaging platform. So this is going to be interesting. We're going to see where this goes, but I think that wherever there is infrastructure, wherever there is the ability to exploit something, somebody will try and exploit that thing for personal gain, for cash, whatever that is. The metaverse is going to be no different. And if we don't start wrapping security controls and specifically training our people basically on the pitfalls and dangers, stranger danger now applies to the metaverse. And those are things that we really have to understand. Otherwise, we're going to be all in a whole heap of trouble virtually. And please like, share, follow me here on Facebook and Twitter at NickAESP. And please feel free to subscribe to me at YouTube as well. And as always, stay safe, stay online, and please attempt to stay private. Thanks, everyone.